By Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon as we are live from Foghorns right here next to Baum Walker Stadium, getting ready for regionals starting today with the Razorbacks taking on North Dakota State at 2 p.m. We're going to bring you all the way up to about 1:30. Not only serving as Inside Arkansas Live, but a little pregame show action, but what better place to do it than out here next to Baum on a truly beautiful day in Northwest Arkansas. But fellas, how are we feeling? How's the vibes right now?
The vibes are very, very high. I don't think they could possibly be higher. We talked about it yesterday. Tomorrow, I think the nerves might set in, or, in a couple hours, the nerves might set in. But they're not here yet, man. I'm feeling good. I love being out here at Foghorns. This particular location, it's the second legal beer I ever purchased was right here at this Foghorns. That's right. That's right.
Second one.
What was the context of this?
I was down here visiting, was 21. And bought a beer right after my birthday. Yeah.
All right.
Second legal beer I ever bought. The other one was at a liquor store.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Well, yeah, I agree. The vibes are very high. The weather, dude, it's tremendous. I don't want to jinx it a little bit, but it feels amazing outside. And it's just nice to have a regional where you're not scared to go outside. Because a lot of times, dude, I remember in 2023, the press box air conditioning went out. And so there was literally, I literally left the press box, and this is back when I was a real journalist. I left the press box because it was cooler outside where it was 98 degrees than it was in the press box. And so it's just nice to have good weather that, isn't miserable. And it's nice that Arkansas has the day game today on what is, like we were saying, the coolest day of the weekend. And so should be a nice start to the weekend. Should be a fun game there at Baum Walker Stadium. And I can't wait to get after it, man. Can't wait to see what the starting lineup. I'm assuming it's going to be the same lineup they've been rolling with for 3 weeks now. But just excited to dip our toe into postseason waters.
What if it wasn't though? What if the lineup was completely different? I'd be like, oh, okay.
He's rolling with Jimenez, and you never know, man. Yeah, he could get
Kendall Diggs.
Yeah.
As many props as he has,
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Rocco Pepe, just roll them out there, man. See what happens.
Should we issue a warm welcome to the contingent of North Dakota State fans?
Yeah, dude, there's a decent amount of people. There's 6 or 7 here in Foghorns, which I know 6 or 7 is not a large number in the context of traveling for sports, but I expected 0. So it's cool to see some guys. One guy said he drove 9 hours from somewhere in Wisconsin or something like that.
Yeah, man, this is crazy.
But I'm like, man, good for him.
A little green spattered out around here, so good for them. Got a little support here.
That's right. I was a little surprised to see so many of them. But hey, what else is there to do in North Dakota other than just root for your team, which is a good thing.
Do they ice fish there?
Might as well.
I think is it cold enough?
I don't know. Maybe not right now. Yeah, that's why they're here, because it's not ice fishing season. You got to travel south. They're like birds.
We should do that. That should be an outing sometime. We got to go actually go bass fishing or
probably
whatever.
Start there.
Yeah, and then we'll work our way up to fly fishing and then ice fishing.
Yeah, we can make that happen. But listen, it's going to be a great day. We can't wait. And as a reminder, folks, not only we have Inside Arkansas Live here at Foghorns right now, but then also as soon as the game ends today with Arkansas and North Dakota State, back here at Foghorns for the bombastic post-game show, as we'll be reacting to all the things that happened in today's game, which hopefully it's great. It's an easy win. We just sit back, kick back, relax, and have a grand old time together. That's what the hope is today. But we'll get into a lot of other things that's going on in the sports world, too. We'll get to your chats presented by our friends over at Basis Health. We'll be able to do an Alumni Hall question of the day. Best and worst of the week presented by our friends over at Looper Auction and Realty. And, of course, get into a lot of other things here today as well. But, now that it's finally here, I was curious how you guys felt about, we got more North Dakota State and all that. So, hey, yeah, listen, real quick, I appreciate the fact that they're green because there's no green teams in the SEC. So it's nice to, have a different color team. But I don't know. There's no, I guess LSU's purple. So I was going to say there's no purple SEC teams, but we'll say LSU's purple. Never mind.
They are very much purple.
That very much.
Purple as purple gets.
Yeah. It just completely went the opposite direction of the point I was going to make. But either way, I appreciate the green no matter what. But, I thought because of the regionals being here, I know everyone's a little, not everyone, but some people are a little nervous because of what's happened before and a little anxious about what everything that's going to happen. And now, I don't know, guys. I woke up and I feel like at least today, tomorrow may be a whole different story. But today I feel good. That may be the jinx of death, but I feel good about this game today. I feel good about Jimenez. I feel good about Arkansas going out there, taking care of business. Tomorrow may be a different story, but today I feel really good about it.
I feel really good about it as well. I think I said yesterday on the Bombastic podcast that I expected by this point for me to be like just riddled with anxiety and just sweating and, not able to sleep. But I got a great night's sleep. I felt good this morning. Like the birds were chirping, the sun was brighter, the colors. It just everything felt good, and I didn't expect to feel that way. I expected by this point. I mean, even going back to last year when we were in Baum Walker and we were miserable watching their season end. We knew right then and there that this season was going to have a ton of pressure on it. And so there is that dark cloud hanging over everything, but we're far enough down to where it's like, you know what? We've got our own thing going on. I think we have a lot more confidence than we did in last year's team, frankly. And I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited to see them tackle this opportunity. The one thing, like when I'm thinking about just stuff I'm worried about, Arkansas's played one game in the last, 13, 14 days or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That makes me a little bit nervous, but that's why I'm glad they have this game to kind of acclimate, get back in the swing of things. This 1 versus 4 game always starts off weird, so I'm expecting there to be a weird start at some point, but I imagine Arkansas is going to swing the bats really well. The over, by the way, 14.5. I like the over.
I do too.
I was just about to say, the only thing I've got any level of anxiety about today is the over. That's it.
You're worried that the over's not going to hit? Is that what
I need it to hit.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm good.
When you say need, like, are you like, what'd you put up? I mean, is your child's inheritance is it based on whether or not Arkansas and North Dakota State combined for 15 runs?
Family's got to eat, man.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Kid's going to be behind the 8 ball as soon as he comes out if Arkansas doesn't hit that over today.
Oh, Michelle's listening. I thought she was getting fried and died.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I'm in trouble, man.
Oh.
Yeah, we really got to have this now.
I'd say she's going to be eating SpaghettiOs out of a can for months until that happens. But, no, that's the thing is you got to feel confident about this, and you got to be respectful of it too. But it's just a matter of, like we brought up, I'm glad you did, the time frame between games. Yeah. It's always rest versus rust. Well, what's better, when you get in the groove and you get going, or, hey, did you need the rest? Are you going to come out? The motivation and the energy, I think, is going to be crucial today. Arkansas is a talented enough team where they should beat North Dakota State anyways. They should be, as long as they just play a B game. But it's going to be about that energy. Are they, like, where's the motivation at? Where's their focus at? Because a lot of these guys, weren't on the team last year. Some of them have played in the postseason. Some of them have not. You've never played a team like North Dakota State, so it's a completely new team. And, you don't want to look ahead, say, oh, we're going to cruise today. There's just so many elements to it that can be worrisome, but also it's like, hey, Dave's been in this position. The coaching staff's been in this position. You're just hoping that whatever they're doing, whatever they're saying, however they're manipulating it all, this team's just going to come out energized, focused, and ready, and not worrying about anything, just going out and winning this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. When they asked Dave about it yesterday, and of course I played his clip. I loved how he was just like, I mean, really, it's just the last 2 years, and we're way better than both those teams. And he was like, that's what gives me confidence. But I do also love that Dave Van Horn, who has made a living off of dragging teams to Omaha that had no damn business going to Omaha. It's like, it's funny that, you have a couple rough postseason exits, and now all of a sudden it's like, can they do it? It's like, yeah, they can do it. Like, we've seen them do it several times. We've seen far less talented teams make it to Omaha. Now, of course, we've seen talented teams also not make it to Omaha, so it's far from a guarantee. But it is funny. I think this is going to be a weekend where we return to normalcy a little bit. And look, obviously anything can happen in sports. There's no guarantees in life. There's no guarantees in anything. But it is funny how we just, when something doesn't happen, we convince ourselves it can't happen. Mm-hmm. It's like last year's team. We're like, Arkansas baseball, they can't go to Omaha again. They're not going to do it. And it's like, it's not that dramatic. And hell, if Arkansas makes it to Omaha, that doesn't mean they're going to go to Omaha every year. It's just each year is different. Each team is different. And I like what you said about how it's a lot of different guys. Like, you think Cam Kojal is sitting over there like, well, Arkansas lost to SEMO last year, so I don't know if I can hit today. Maybe some of those guys that are on the team, but there's a lot of new faces. This group also just seems to not care about outside noise, good or bad. Like, I don't think it fuels them. I don't think they wake up every morning looking to prove the haters wrong. I just think they love playing together. They love playing in Baum Walker Stadium. They've played very well here. I think they love each other, and I'm excited to watch this team write their own story. That's what we talked about a lot during basketball season, is Coach Cal kept saying, we're writing our own story. This is our thing, and because similar to basketball, you have all this outside noise of, oh, John Calipari can't do this. Oh, Boogie Flan, DJ Webb, all these guys, the outside noise tries to tell you what you're capable of and what you're going to do. Those guys in that locker room know each other, and they know what they can do together. And so I'm excited for them to kind of, again, write their own story and see. It all starts today, and, you got to start strong. But I think the vibe definitely feels a little bit different. There's not as much anxiety, and I don't know why that is the case.
I wanted to ask you, you talked about starting strong. Obviously, I think we all agree if Arkansas lost to North Dakota State today, it would be an absolute disaster.
That'd be bad.
That would suck.
One of the worst things that could possibly happen
would suck.
In life in general. But outside of that, like, is this, when you're playing a 4 seed, they're 12 games that are 500 or whatever they are, can you set the tone, though, like in a game like this? Like, is there something to be said for momentum carrying over? How would you feel if we walk in here after this game and Arkansas wins, 15-2, versus if it's like a 7-5 kind of back and forth weird kind of game? Is there something to be said for that?
Absolutely, there's something to be said for it. And I think there's also something to be said for just going in and doing what you plan on doing.
Right.
Arkansas, man, I mean, Dave
the script
didn't come right out and say it, but he was like, look, we kind of need to this game needs to be a relaxing, carry our offense, don't use a lot of our top arms. And you go back to last year, Arkansas had to use a lot of top arms. And that, you end up winning, I think it was 17-9 or something like that was the final score. So it ended up being, on paper you look at it and you're like, oh, that was a comfortable victory. It really wasn't. And, you had Gabe Gackle throw 3 innings, had to really battle back. You used Will McIntyre. You used a ton of different arms. That set the tone for the weekend where, not a huge deal. Ultimately, you move on to the next one. But I think there's something to be said about just coming out here, taking care of business. Everyone kind of has that good feeling. Because what this team is doing right now is they're all convincing themselves our run starts now. I mean, there's 64 teams in the country that are sitting there having their meeting, and they're like, our run starts now. It's a new season. We're turning the page. And so if page 1 is a really awesome and really good page that goes according to script and there's no drama whatsoever, it definitely – he just kind of furthers that feeling, and then it becomes a snowball by the time. I mean, like that Ole Miss team in 2022, by the time they got to Omaha, it was like a completely different team, and it's because you can kind of build that confidence. And so this team should have confidence because of how good they are, because of some of the teams they've beaten. I think they're going to get out there on that field today and realize we've been playing a lot of teams that are way better than these cats. Yeah. They'll figure that out pretty early, and I think it all sets up for tomorrow. You're going to have the pitcher you choose, whether that's Root or Wood. We don't know for sure. I would assume Root against the number 2 seed or number 3 seed in your regional. That's what your season leads to. That is where your season really is going to be decided, at least for this weekend. And so I think it's definitely important for them to set that tone today and for today to go according to script.
I want to see double-digit runs today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Minimum. I mean, they got to at least get to that point. The last thing I want to hear is the grunts and groans in the crowd because they're rolling over or just some nonsense there, and we start hearing it, Nate Thompson, because it'll happen.
Oh yeah,
you'll hear it. I hope they just come out there strong.
Well, you mentioned the crowd. That's another thing. Is like the crowd can be your biggest ally, but it can also be a little bit of your enemy. Who needs enemies when you have friends like this Razorback faithful?
Exactly.
And so I think there's something to be said about you go out there and whip ass today. There's no, that tension and that anxiety is probably not going to be there as much tomorrow. You'll have that crowd fully on your side.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that it stays that way and they come out early in scoring those runs.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to sit there where it's the 4th or 5th inning and it's a 1-0 game and you're kind of like, I don't know about this, and you got guys striking out, swinging, you got not having good takes, any of that stuff. Just it goes back to, are you the better team? Yes, show it. Simple as that. You're the better team. Go out there and show it. Go out there and dominate. It's exactly what you need to do. But if you got in this game, third inning, North Dakota State, it's a solo shot home run with 2 outs. Someone's pull him, get him out of there. He's cooked. Because people are going to be on edge for every run, everything about it. They're just going to be on edge the entire time until they get through this regional. And if it's bad today, if they win, it's going to be a whole nother animal tomorrow when it comes to people's stress and everything too. So, but again, we're live here at Foghorns, folks, and we appreciate everybody tuning in, and want to remind everybody that here on Inside Arkansas Live, as well as the Bombastic podcast and Pod at the Palace too, we have some new sponsors that we always love giving new shout outs to, especially given the circumstances of how everything's going. If you get into a fight today with a North Dakota State fan, which I don't know why you would, but if you do,
seem like nice people.
Yeah, I mean, they seem nice for now until they start getting a lead and start being arrogant a little bit. But hey, if that ends up happening, you need to contact our friends over at Hickey and Hole Law Firm because they do all different cases, but specifically divorce and custody cases because they're way too important to try and face alone. Let Hickey and Hole Law provide you with persistent and diligent representation to help guide you through the entire process. They've handled thousands of family law cases and have experienced nearly every scenario that has ever come up. The foundation of a strong attorney-client relationship is honesty and trust. Hickey and Hole Law prides themselves on building those relationships with their clients, as well as providing that honest, principled advice and representation. So Hickey and Hole Law offices across the state of Arkansas, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Little Rock, Mena. Call them today at 479-434-2414, or you can check out their website at hickeyandhole.com. Scan that QR code. It's Hickey and Hole Law. Things are about to get better. So, going to, which we'll get to the chats, but how about seeing Cal last night? Right? Talking about starting off great with hanging out with John Daly, getting some swings in, getting some barbecue. And I really hope Cal is here today or, the whole weekend. Maybe he'll bring Carter Knox out. Maybe there'll be some players. But big John Daly's here. Cal's here. Weather's perfect. I mean, this is it. It has to happen this weekend.
Yeah, what a father-son golf tandem outing that they had going on there. That was pretty impressive stuff, man. Love seeing Cal out there. He's definitely going to be out here today. He'll be out here
Has
for
to
sure.
be.
There's zero doubt in my mind that that'll be the case. I wonder. I don't know if they're starting their their official summer practices, because once you get going, you got 10 weeks to complete 8 weeks worth of work. They might wait until Monday for that, wait until Carter gets back or whatever. But it would be pretty sick if Cal was out there. We'll be watching. We're going to see Nick Pringle. I'm ready to size him up.
Yes.
Because I'm in that 220 to 225 range, and if Nick Pringle's 225, I need to stand beside him and really get a gauge on this. I hope that a lot of those guys are walking around out there, man. It'd be pretty sweet.
Well, Curtis, I'll just say, my driver's license says that I'm 160 pounds. I am not 160 pounds, and Nick Pringle is not 220 pounds. But no, I do hope Cal's out there. I also hope that the players, that a lot of them come. And obviously, you always have the thing where, like Dave last week basically, demanded that his players go to the softball regional, which is always cool. But I think it would be cool for some of those guys like a Malik Thomas, like a Darius Acuff, or whoever, some of those transfers, Malik Ewan, to go out there and see this atmosphere and be like, look, man, y'all look at this for a baseball game against North Dakota State at 2 p.m. on a Friday. Imagine Bud Walton at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
They get a little bit of taste for that. They get to know what it's like to be a Razorback, and I think that's a big deal. That kind of stuff really is important to me. And one, you're a college student. I think if you're a college student, if you're on campus, I should say, and you're not at this game, then what the hell are you doing? I think that'd be really cool for some of those guys to get a taste of what it's like being a pig and rolling in the mud with the rest of us.
Yeah, and I think John Daly, because everyone's like, oh, he'll be on the Hog Pen. Are you kidding me? He ain't going to be in the Hog Pen.
No.
He's not going to try to steal into other people's beer. He's going to have his own beer up in the suites, man.
It up,
John
man,
Daly looks
sure.
like a Hog Pen guy from a glance. He's going to be in a suite. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, because
He will be doing hog pin things in a suite.
Yes, he will be, because he is our culture. What is it, the Matthew McConaughey's title at Texas?
The Minister of Culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is our unofficial Minister of Culture, and if Hunter Yurachek had the brass to do it, he'd make it an official thing, because if there's anybody that embodies the Arkansas culture, it's John frickin' Daly. So, just saying.
And they went to Herman's.
Yeah, Herman.
They got, it's their
Cal's
go-to.
spot,
The classic Cal.
Shout out Daryl Walker, by the way. Did we shout him out?
No, we didn't, but we did.
Well,
now.
shout out Daryl Walker.
Yes, him. And Brad, Cal, Perry, come on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he's hanging out there. Who do you think?
He was barely in that one photo. He was hanging on the edge of it.
He's letting the neck show a little bit for a change. That's good.
Do you think John Cal, Perry, and Brad, are they good golfers? Do you think they give good golfer vibes?
Brad strikes me as a guy that's probably always the best one in his group. Cal, as much as he's wined and dined and swindled throughout his days, he's serviceable out there on the course, I think.
Yeah, he's probably serviceable. I mean, Brad Calipari, if you're a nepo baby and you're not good at golf, what were you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Did you not grow up? I mean, I'm sure he got lessons when he was 9 years old and all that. It's like, you should be pretty good at golf.
Yeah, I was just imagining, when Cal goes out there, if he slices one, does he curse as soon as he does it, or does he smile and like, this is a dumb game anyway? I don't really care that much about it. Yeah, it's like what is his reaction to a bad shot? Does he not take it seriously, or does he actually get really pissed off?
I don't think John Calipari. I think he's a pretty good golfer. I think he's very cool and win in the bushes. In the water. That's 2 strokes.
I think his Cal's game on the course is probably comparable to Donald Trump's.
Yeah, I could see it.
That's
Even the
probably about where
swing
he's at.
too, like just kind of.
And he's like,
Donald Trump plays a lot.
He does play a lot. Cal's pretty like he's trimmed up, man. Like he might be just a little bit more fluid. It's like he's still got his hips underneath him and everything.
Yeah.
So he's,
Believe it or not, and this is not a political thing. I just think John Calipari doesn't have as much time on his hands as Donald Trump. I really don't think so. I know that sounds crazy. I really don't think he does.
But the thing is I bet you Cal is a killer at that Topgolf stuff, man. And the simulators, he's probably out there getting it done. But who knows? Maybe one day we'll be able to check him out when he's golfing and get to see the swing and everything. And we can critique it that way because all of us are going to sit back. Oh, I don't know about this. This is a terrible
Didn't somebody
thing.
tell us that he was a darts guy?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Somebody said that.
I think it was the people in Lexington, wasn't it?
Maybe that's who it was.
That's
yeah,
friends. There's like,
somebody
he loves his
definitely told us
darts.
that, yeah.
It's like, well, let's challenge him. Let's see what goes on. Let's see what happens after that. Okay, we'll get to your chats, but real quick, also want to go ahead and ask our Alumni Hall question of the day, presented by our friends over at Alumni Hall. A week from today, we're going to be live from Alumni Hall, getting you ready for the Super Regionals. That's right. So, going to have some fun with that. But if you are coming into town, get your Razorback gear right there at Alumni Hall, 3417 North College Avenue. They're going to be open, and they're going to be open all weekend. So check them out. But if you're going to be coming in for the Supers, check them out there as well. And then you can also go to the website, insidearkansas.com/Alumni Hall. Use that promo code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your purchase. All right, it's a very simple question, guys. How far did the Hogs go this postseason? Like, how far they go?
To the promised land.
Yeah,
All the way?
to heaven. Is that an answer? Is
To
that
Canaan-
one of the
Canaan's
options?
land?
Yeah, I think they're going. Yeah, I think they're going as far as you can go. I mean, look, we've been saying it I've been saying it since I guess it was Stillwater last year in football when I declared it for the first time. Yeah, we'll go natty. We'll go natty. I'll accept, and I saw the results. I spoiled it and saw the results of this poll. I will accept as long as they get to Omaha. But I mean, the goal is gold.
I think this year, minimum College World Series. Minimum College World Series. That's what I think about. Holy crap. Hold on a second here. Let's do this thing.
You better not click the wrong button.
I know. I got to make sure I get it right. Holy balls. Quinn, my man.
Oh, bro.
Super chat. What is this, Quinn? Come on, man.
Quinn's
man.
posted up in his Auburn his little section there where he's watching the regional, which, by the way, sweet setup, I will admit, Quinn. It does look pretty cool, even though the monster's stupid. But looks like he's going to have a good day. I wonder if he's had a few drinks already.
Quinn's vibing right
now.
He's already off to a good start.
Yeah.
Well,
like-
and we also got to talk about the good nature of Quinn.
He's
because,
great, man.
You know, as he said, hey, if Auburn and Arkansas will both make it to Omaha, like we got to get together, we got to do Jello shots
100%.
together. And John's like, man, no promises, man. It just really
That is
just
crazy,
completely
dude.
big timed him, you know.
No,
and,
well,
but
hold
he's
on a
still
second.
taking care of us.
Hold on a second.
This is definitely because of us, Andrew.
I
That's all I'm saying.
want to defend myself in that. The no promises had nothing to do with that. The no promises was Arkansas getting to Omaha and us being there. That's what the no promises was.
Okay.
I kind of wondered in the moment, but I assumed John didn't mean that.
Yeah.
Gosh,
man.
Yeah. Well, if Quinn thought I meant that, then that's really nice of him, even more so, to give us the super chat. So, jeez, man.
No, Quinn, you're the GOAT.
You're
man. Thank
awesome,
you so
man.
much, dude.
Quinn is like a representation of what's good in sports. Of
Yes.
like just a guy who just loves his squad, and then it loves the game so much that he's tapped in with us, and of course he just loves us, which is nice. But I can respect the guys like Quinn that just love their squad, and I even see a couple other fan bases in here that come in with malicious intent. A lot of fan bases come to troll. Fan bases that just like love the sport, love the competitiveness, and like just like to know what's going on.
Yeah, no, Quinn's the man, and it's I hate to admit it, but in a lot of ways, he's kind of. Well, I hate Auburn less than I did.
I know,
I'm not gonna
same,
lie, I really
dude.
do. And I've always kind
It
of liked
sucks.
Bruce Pearl from afar. I think he's a really good coach, and that's been a fun team. The baseball, like sure, yeah, outside of Arkansas, I'm all for it. Football, we're gonna have to have some discussions this summer. I'm not sure if I can go there or not, but no,
They're gonna be pretty
people.
good in football though.
They are. I think they are. And it's you talk about us having people from other fan bases. Like Quinn he's our resident Auburn fan that comes and hangs out. We have a resident Georgia fan
Yes.
that's around all the time.
Shout out to Blind Squirrel.
Yeah, and then there's
Quinn,
BBN
my
or
man,
whatever, so.
dude, Quinn, thank you again. Thank you so much and appreciate you. He just sent another donation through.
I was hoping you were sending an apology for it. But it's
Well, listen, Quinn, I apologize. I am so sorry. No, I'm not going to go that far. But thank you, though. Seriously, Quinn, you're the best, dude. And we really hope we get to see you up there in Omaha because I don't know what the record is for the Jello shots. But I feel like Quinn's going to be determined the further Auburn goes. He may break that record by himself.
Yeah. We should do at bare minimum, we should do like a 90-second preview of the Auburn Regional here. Do you know who's in it?
No, not off the top of my head.
Auburn's going to win it.
Auburn's definitely going to win it. And by the way, I do hope they win it. I want to. As a matter of fact, just for Quinn, I'm going to give Auburn a shout out and shout out to Butch Thompson, who's been their coach for 1,000 years now. He's had some years that have just not gone his way. Like, you remember that year in 2021, Curtis, when Auburn beat Arkansas to start? Like, they were like 0-6 in SEC play, and they were the first team to beat that 2021 Arkansas team. And that Auburn team, like, wound up being under 500 in SEC play, but every game they lost was one run. Like, they've had some good teams that have not quite gotten the breaks. And Butch Thompson's just a consistent, like, program builder guy. I mean, he's taken them to Omaha. Like, he's done a good job. And it's now kind of culminated with a really good season here where they've overachieved. I'd love to see them get back to Omaha and solidify him and solidify his job status because I think they missed the tournament the last 2 years. So it's like there was a little bit of pressure on him there in Auburn, and so I'm glad he was able to put together a good year. They did a great job in the portal. They almost got Zach Root. Matter of fact,
Really?
I thought they were going to get Zach Root. And if they had, dude, they would have like the best pitching staff in the SEC if they had.
Okay, I'm heavily pulling for Auburn, by the way, in the
me
regional.
too,
I mean,
me
they
too.
they get Central Connecticut, which
They
treat
NC State's in there too.
Bombs.
Right?
treat Central Connecticut well.
Yeah.
and then
Bombs.
Stetson, but yeah, you got to get past the Wolfpack. bro.
Stetson's always a tough
They
mid-major
are.
too.
Yeah, you can't let NC State walk out of there, man.
Dude,
So
yeah.
pressure's on. We're pulling for you, and we appreciate you, buddy.
Quinn, I am an Auburn fan through and through this postseason,
At least for the
unless
next
they play
hour.
Arkansas. But every other game.
For 3 hours? I don't know, maybe 4 hours.
Maybe.
I'm an Auburn fan.
Yeah.
For 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks. But we really appreciate you, Quinn. Really do, man. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Florida is going through it.
Yeah,
Okay, so
they
what's
are.
I was going to say
7-0. Somebody said. Is that accurate?
It's 7-0, and and it might be more. They've got runners on second and third. It's in the top of the fourth. ECU is opening up a can on these boys.
grief,
Florida's
man.
ace got 4 outs.
dude.
Ooh, and then they ain't got much beyond him.
No,
so.
yeah, it's tough.
What's his name just gave me the coach for Florida.
Kevin O'Sullivan.
Sullivan. Yeah, I kept like to say Conan O'Brien. I was like, that's not him.
Sure.
But yes, him. He's going to get fired. I mean, the Florida fans are pissed. They're saying he's got to leave. You know, it's just how it's going to happen. But we'll keep you updated. But shout out also to Super Chat for Steven. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you. That's awesome.
He says, first round on me, boys. Understand the hesitancy, but let's just give these guys their flowers. There is a reason we are the favorites to win the whole thing. We have the most complete team in baseball. Let's have fun.
I love this thought process.
I do
right
too.
Here. I
It's
really
great.
do. You can't let the past affect the current. You can't let it cloud your vision for the future. Arkansas's got a complete squad, man. They really do, and it's pretty much every single national talking head or whatever that I've listened to over the last several days since the bracket's been released has been like, hey, like this Arkansas team has they've got all the pieces. Like if you had to pick one, they're the most complete. Arkansas's best is the best that you can find out there with anybody, and I believe that. It doesn't guarantee you anything, but you can still feel really good about where you're at going into this deal for sure.
I definitely agree with the sentiment that like Arkansas's best. Like Arkansas kind of has the ace of spades. Now they don't play their ace of spades
Correct.
regularly. You know what I mean? They've had a lot of series where they've had to kind of piece it together. They don't get a good start from Zach Root or whatever, but in a given weekend, I feel like Arkansas has a ceiling that other teams. There's only maybe a couple teams in the country that can even really compete with that level. And I really think, I mean, look, it's not that Arkansas I really think is like, we should all be pissed if they don't win the national title and they should be this unanimous favorite. But I do agree with the sentiment that like when Arkansas plays their best, they're more complete than anybody. And I love that. We've got a starting lineup, and it is the lineup that we expect it to be. Davalon, Vahiva Aloy, Logan Maxwell, Ryder Helfrich, Kahio Aloy, Cam Kojal, Bern Iredale, Reese Robinette, Justin Thomas. Those are your 9.
There we go. That was electric, by the way.
I'd say, watch out, John Williams. We may have Andrew doing PA work
The
here.
Hog team.
Yeah.
Robinette.
Hey, let's
at
talk
first
about this
base.
in the chat.
Robinette.
Let's talk about this in the chat. Do y'all hate the Hog team? Like when we're singing
I do.
Take Me Out to the Ball Game? I know you do. I want to
can't.
listen. I want to hear from the chat.
Yeah.
Do y'all think it's stupid whenever they say the Hog team rather than the home team?
I do.
I think it's one of the worst things that we do as a university.
I don't like it at all.
I don't like it
There
at
are
all.
a lot
but-
of things that we do that I embrace. That's not one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. And the poking of the nose thing is apparently intern Reagan's over here. She hates when people do
Yeah,
this,
I
which
like
I do
that.
too, because I don't understand
By the
it
way,
either.
should we give intern Reagan a shout out for her scoop?
We should.
Oh,
Yes.
yes,
She
yes, we
did
should,
come to
should.
Foghorn. She didn't come empty-handed. She brought a scoop with her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the scoop is, allegedly, Sources say, the source being her Uber, that the North Dakota State leadoff guy may or may not have strep throat.
Hate to see it.
And if one has strep throat, wouldn't you think others could?
Maybe they forfeit.
Let's hope he doesn't get on base and spread that sucker around the infield, start breathing all over the place. But
better put them M95s on.
Yeah. The M95s. Yeah. Well, hey, listen, if they have to forfeit today, we'll understand. Health is important. And you got to
they don't forfeit though. You need to
dude, imagine how electric that post game would be, though.
Roll over and take your ass. Yeah, that post game reaction. North Dakota State has forfeited the game.
All right,
did not happen.
Yeah, it was perfect. So, anyways, we got the super chats. Really appreciate you, Quinn. Though again, but it's going to bring up the polling of how far does Arkansas go here in the postseason play. And as of right now, where it stands, 42% of you say getting to the College World Series, getting to Omaha. 33% of you say winning the whole thing. 18% says super regional, and 7% of you say just the regional. So,
okay, so 25% of people with some stinking thinking.
Yep.
42%. Just going with the expectation coming into the year, like, hey, you got to get back there, and then some folks who are feeling the whole thing. I like it. Okay.
Yep. We're team whole thing here. All right, we're team whole thing here.
Team whole thing.
Yeah, sure. That's what we're about. Shout out to our guy Garrett. Appreciate you, Garrett. HD Roofing said positive vibes only, boys. Woo pig suey. So excellent. But yeah, we'll appreciate you, and we'll do of course of heavy hitters. We appreciate it from HD Roofing Construction. Smart girl. She did not step in front of the camera. That's good. She's a pro. She's a pro. And we are number one. We are number one over here.
That's proof
Good
that the
grief.
Inside Arkansas Leadership Program has done its
That's
job.
right. Yeah,
That's right. We're helping families over here.
Is Garrett here?
Inside
Do
Arkansas.
we know?
I don't know, actually.
Garrett, are you here?
Yeah, actually.
Garrett, where you at, bro?
So, yeah. But, jeez. Such love and appreciation. Let's see. Also, I guess we did the poll question and everything, too. So, more of your chats, though, folks. Appreciate, again, all the super chats and everything. Shout out to our guy Austin here. He just says, just got new contacts. Now I can see y'all.
Hey, there we go.
Congrats, man.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Glad you. So, what do you think? Are we worse or better than what you thought we would be now that you can see us? Like, you may have thought completely different from us all, but no, glad you can see us.
Yeah. If all of a sudden he's, relegated to the podcast version, we know.
Yeah,
I feel bad for Steven, Steven Bourne, that he was probably getting out his card, getting ready to do his super chat. Thought he was going to be like setting the tone, and then Quinn comes in with that $500 one.
Yeah, that was
right
wild.
before, kind of steals his thunder a little bit.
Yeah. Steven, we appreciate you buying the first round. There will be a first round.
The first round
and a
is
second and a third. We're gonna have a good
the
time.
first round is Dr. Pepper because we needed some caffeine.
Yeah.
But,
exactly.
Not one, not two, not three, but especially again, somebody asked in the chat. There is no run rule, by the way. Did confirm that. No run rules in postseason play.
Which is a big thing for the over, by the way.
It is.
I mean, 12-0 would not catch the over.
That's right, yeah. So that's big time.
By the way, he's in Emerson, Georgia, coaching his 2028 Dogs.
Hey,
Got some
there we go.
future Hogs on this squad.
Hell yeah.
Interesting.
Well,
Love that.
sorry.
Hey.
I saw Georgia, and then I saw Dogs, and I'm like, hey, come on now.
I hope the
Use a
weather's
different
okay
word.
down there because I saw that the Athens regional was postponed
Yeah.
for a couple hours or something.
There's a couple regionals that have been postponed. So, yeah, I hope y'all are able to get those games in. Speaking of former Hogs, or future Hogs, sorry.
Okay.
Can we talk about the Hawaiian children that flew to Fayetteville?
Yeah,
we need to talk about that.
Okay, so shout out to our girl Lancy. Where's hold on.
I got you.
There we go. Boom. So someone tweeted and they were like, "Dude, I'm on a plane to Fayetteville and there's like an entire baseball team full of Hawaiian guys that are going to see the Hogs." Shout out to all these kids. I don't know the story, so I hope anybody in the chat can help us out. I don't know if it's like a, if like I'm assuming they're here to watch the Alloys. I mean, obviously, I know the connection to Hawaii and Arkansas baseball. But like, are these like friends of the Alloys? Are they from the same city? Or is this just a random baseball team that's been inspired? Like, I need to know the story here.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I think this is one of the coolest things. Because again, it's like the League of Nations around here in Fayetteville when it comes to the baseball team and the support systems and everything. I was driving by and I saw all these flags and everything. I was like, oh, all right, guys, what are we doing here? Are you guys going to be weird in the hog pen again? But I'm glad to see that it's, legitimate people that actually are from said place. So that's really cool. That's really cool.
It is cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
What's the flag on the left?
I was getting ready to ask that question. And I stopped myself. I don't know what that is.
Maybe that's.
I'm not even going to guess because someone will be like, oh, Really? In 2025?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like the
No
city they're
disrespect.
from. Who knows? Or maybe it's just like their team. I don't know. I really don't know.
No.
Again,
we'll find out.
I want to know all the information on this team. So if anybody knows, let us know.
Yeah, that's right. We will find out. Shout out to Paddlefish for Super Chat. Appreciate you. He says, is this Arkansas team overall more rounded than the 2022 Omaha team? Yes.
So I'm going to say yes, only because I just think the depth of pitching is a little bit deeper. You look at some of the guys that were on that 2022 team, and I did an episode of the Bombastic where I just basically compared Arkansas's pitching situation to all of their past, the last 5 or 6 teams. That team had some good pitching. Connor Nolan was really consistent as the ace, and frankly, I wish Arkansas had that type of presence of just a eat up 6 innings, give up 2 runs, not a dominant force, but just a consistent innings eater. You had Hagen Smith in that starting rotation, and people think, oh, yeah, Hagen Smith, he was awesome. He was very inconsistent for that team, and he actually ended up being really good in the postseason, but he had an ERA in the mid-4s or something like that. Brady Tiger was their closer, and he was unusable in the postseason. Evan Taylor was really good for them that year, and he's a really good arm to have. Arkansas has some guys like that, but you just look at the talent. The talent level for this year's pitching staff is on a completely different level. I do think that lineup was really, really solid 1 through 9. This one's a little bit more dynamic. This team's not quite as good defensively. That 2022 defense, we're never going to see anything like that again.
Yeah.
Dude. I mean, literally, you had 2 big leaguers up the middle. Peyton Stovall's playing first base. Caden Wallace is at third base. Caden Wallace is really good, although Brent Iredale's been really solid at third base, but I think defensively that 2022 team has the edge, but I think this team has a little bit more talent in the lineup, a little bit more talent in the pitching staff, so I would give them the nod.
I would also throw in that, you talk about the defense. Arkansas has been very blessed to have a great combo of shortstop, second base, defensive players.
Oh, yeah.
But Balls Battles and Robert Moore were about as good as you could. That was just an automatic double play every single time one of them got hit.
Yeah, that was unreal. And then you can look at the fielding. If you look at fielding percentage, this team actually is right on par with that team. But I think we all agree that team was a little bit there was a little bit more stability there. And that double play combo was unreal.
Filthy.
We definitely will never see a double play combo that good.
No, never again. We'll get to more of your chats, folks. We're live here from Foghorns, but want to remind everybody that the coverage of the postseason here in baseball for the Razorbacks, presented by our friends over at. Listen, this place is so great. I get excited just thinking about it because I can't wait to go back. Radiant Elements Medical Spa, because they do the best when it comes to massages and spa days right there off of Weddington. And there's no doubt that those tough workouts that everybody does, I know you're all very active out there. You get sore, especially as you get older in age. Trust me, I know. You got to work out that deep tissue, and they have all of that type of massage when it comes to sports massage. Infrared sauna helps you bounce back faster, hit the weights harder, and stay in the game. And a lot of you may say self-care makes you soft. You're bad if you think that self-care makes you soft, because it's what winners do. And everybody loves massage, and they do the best over there. And right now you can check them out at the Weddington Plaza right next to Lion's Mane, or you can book an appointment online with that QR code up in the right corner, and you get 15% off your very first service. It's as great as that. It's Radiant Elements Medical Spa, self-care for everyone. Andrew actually went this past week for a massage.
You know what I learned? One, I learned that Radiant Elements Medical Spa is awesome. Lion's Mane is a barbershop.
I guess that makes sense.
The first time I read it, I didn't know what it was. I was right next to Lion's Mane. I'm like, what the hell is that? I don't know what that means. It's a barbershop there.
That makes sense.
It does make sense.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it does make sense. The more
I didn't
thought
know
about
that
it.
either. But
It's either that or a bar. It's one of the two.
Well, that's why I was like, I kind of want to know, because I was like, it sounds cool. Yeah, it is a barbershop. But no, Radiant Elements Medical Spa. Man, I remember Elena was telling me, she's like, yes, a lot of people, she said about 30% of people fall asleep during the massage. And I was like, no way in hell. Because I'm someone, I can't sleep in my own bed. And so I was like, there's no way I'm going to fall asleep on a massage table. About 20 minutes in, I was like getting real close. She's like, all right, I'm done. I'm like, well, how long have I been here? An hour? What's going on?
Yeah, it's awesome. So we highly recommend, folks, especially you anxious and intense Razorback fans out there. You're going to need a massage just from this anxiety that you're going to go through. And Radiant Elements Medical Spa is going to help you out with that. So check them out today. Real quick, Squealy Dan comes in talking about the flag. He says the Kanaka Maoli flag, I hope I said it right, it sounded good coming off my tongue, is the unofficial flag associated with Hawaiian sovereignty movements and indigenous Hawaiian identity.
Love that.
Thank you, Squealy Dan.
I want to see more of that flag. I like that.
Yeah. Well, you should actually, I don't know if you guys saw, I finally got a flag and a flagpole in the back of my truck.
I did notice that.
Yeah. And it had the Arkansas State flag, which, it's great. But, maybe tomorrow we mix it up a little bit, and I go and steal their flag, and we fly it around in the truck. And I'm sure they'll totally allow that to happen. So, but thank you, Squealy Dan, for that and making that known. Let's see a few other your chats. Ryan says, we better be slipping some hundreds to every single one of those Hawaiians today on the travel team.
Honestly, keep that pipeline going, man.
Yeah,
I like that, man.
That's
I like
right.
that a lot. I mean, dude, we talk about it all the time with kids in state, how like, hey, it's cool when you see Bobby Portis go to Arkansas. Now, if you're that 10-year-old kid and you want to go to Arkansas, I'd imagine there's a lot of really good baseball players in Hawaii that are like, that's a pretty cool idea. Shout out Rick Nomura. He set the tone.
That's right. That's right. Lane says John looks like Nate Thompson today. No, I don't, because I can bench maybe a quarter of what that man probably does.
What kicks you got on? No, your kicks are not Nate Thompson approved.
No, they are not.
He would never be seen in those, bro. He would have some fire on.
What I don't understand. What are his kicks? Does he wear great shoes? I've never paid attention.
He always has some good shoes.
He's got heat on the feet.
Okay,
Yeah,
I've never paid attention to his shoes, but I trust you. But yeah, he's I hear he goes to the gym.
Yeah, I see that he goes to the gym.
Yes.
I saw him in the gym when we were in Arlington last year, and he can push the weight, man.
He seems like the type of guy that goes, I guess, was it like CrossFit when they get the big old like tractor tires and he just like throws them up, and he could probably do pretty well in that. But let's see. Colby says, how long is the line for the hog pen? Well, I got here about 11, and it was almost to the intersection.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was when you guys came in. It was just a little bit after, but I'm sure.
I didn't go by it. I came in the side way.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. Well, actually, it doesn't matter because their gates have already opened, so we won't know. But I'm sure it was sufficient. Tomorrow, sheesh, it's going to be even crazier when it comes to that line.
Also, why they put out the starting lineup an hour and a half early?
Yeah, it kind of threw me.
They want to get ahead of the game.
I mean, I'm cool with it, but it's like, normally they literally schedule the tweet till it comes out exactly 1 hour before.
Yeah, maybe they're just switching up the vibes. Maybe Dave's like, hey, look, guys, we did an hour last year. We got to mix it up. It's an hour and a half this time around. We got to make that happen. Let's see. Also, we talked about the Florida there. I also love this from Smelly. He's like, wait, so Curtis was buying illegal beer before?
I wasn't. But,
someone was buying it. Yeah.
Someone was buying it. So talk to them. They're the ones that did that illegal stuff.
Did y'all ever have fakes?
No.
IDs?
I never did.
I never did either. I always had a plug for beer. I just never had to have a fake.
I was 21, and I was at a college house party, and I wasn't driving.
That's good.
We had a DD, but she freaked out. I can't even remember what the hell she did. It was something stupid. Like she turned onto a one-way, like it's just like a mistake or whatever. But anyway, so we got pulled over, and I was in the passenger seat, and there was 3 people in the back seat. This girl was driving, and she was 21, but she handed the officer, and she wasn't drunk. She hadn't been drinking, but she handed the officer her old fake. And wound up getting busted on it. And she got a ticket for it and everything like that. She should have just thrown the damn thing away. But
seriously.
It was tough stuff, man.
Could you imagine in college having a fake ID? That's just so low. It's just so terrible.
It was either that or Muhammad.
Could you imagine keeping it in your wallet near your actual ID?
That's crazy.
Did she get arrested, or was it just
no?
Okay,
they wrote her up and gave her a ticket and took that one.
Because imagine that if that was you went to your first time ever going to prison was because of your fake, but you're already 21. You just handed them the wrong one. That would be a rough thing.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Let's see. Also, Kingsley wants to know. He's like, I'm just ready to see these wing orders. You're going to have to wait till the bombastic post game because we're going to order food then.
That's my favorite thing about Foghorns here is they've got 3,000 sauces. And I told Michelle last night, I was like, when we decide to eat, I'm just going to go through and I'm going to find the 2 most outrageous sauces that I can find, and I'm getting them.
Dude, spicy peanut butter.
I've had that. Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, I've had that. I've had the blueberry, which makes no sense at all, but I like it. I mean, they got a bunch of different stuff to try.
What I'm going to do is
I will stay away from the hot.
Please do.
While we have a camera in our face, I'm going to order something cool so everyone thinks I'm cool. And then afterwards, I'm going to be like, hey, actually, just give me the honey barbecue.
Okay,
cool. Yeah. Just hold your phone up, be like, hey, I want this, but then just say, no, actually, I want that. Yeah, they'll get it done. They'll make it happen for you. Samuel says, what are the chances, Ellis, we don't make the Supers?
Well, to answer the question literally, Arkansas is minus 450 to win this regional, which is pretty fat, if I'm being honest with you. It's one of the larger ones, I think. I think it literally actually might be the heaviest favorite in the country. So what does that equate to? Like a 90, what's the number, the conversion rate there? I should be able to look this up. I should have. I mean, I would say literally under 10%. Say about an 8% chance they don't make it to the Super. Less
than 0.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a non-zero chance.
The quote, wasn't that from Oppenheimer when he said less than 0? I don't know. It sounded good when I said it. We already talked about the run rule. Oh yeah. So I've been saying his name wrong.
So I struggled with this a lot until I interviewed his father, Jason Jimenez. The way he described it to me is it's Jimenez almost, but it's Menez.
Okay.
Jimenez.
Yeah.
Jimenez.
Okay.
What were you saying?
I think I was saying
Jimenez,
yeah.
Dave says it wrong. By the way, do not
Blame
trust Dave
Dave
Van Horn on any pronunciation of a name. He called him Wagner until the end of the year. He still calls him
Vaheva right.
Vaheva. He still calls him Vaheva. I'm like, bro, you've been coaching him 2 years. Come on now.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, we're gonna start Jimenez. And I was just like, damn, Dave.
Yeah, that's the best thing ever. Is you mentioned the Wagner thing. I remember it was like mid-season.
Yeah, it was like mid-April for sure.
And the only reason I knew, I think Phil Elson was doing the broadcast, and him and Bubba, and he just says, oh, by the way, his name found out today is actually pronounced Wagner. It's just spelled like Wagner. And I was like, are you joking? Like, what?
Apparently that's a Nebraska thing. You know what it was? Arkansas played Omaha in a midweek game.
Oh.
And I think one of the guys from Omaha was like saw it and was like, oh, Wagner. And then we were like, wait, what is that? And then we asked Oliver, and Oliver was like, yeah, it is technically Wagner. And we're like, oh.
Yeah,
well, you didn't want to tell him. And Jared Wagner also does not speak at all.
No.
So he was never going to correct anyone.
Jeez. Let's see. David says, how many innings do we call him Jimmy now?
Yeah, I almost said just call him Jimmy. I like this question, David. I'm going to answer it differently than what you're asking for because I really don't think the innings pitched will determine it. As long as when he leaves the game, Arkansas has a very hefty lead and they don't have to use a bunch of good arms, like that could be 3 innings.
Mm-hmm.
If Arkansas's up 9-3 after 3 and they pull them and they go to, maybe they go Ben Bybee and then they, clean it up with Big Tuna or something, that would still be a successful thing. And you could point to that and say, well, was it really a successful thing because the offense carried them? That's kind of part of the equation. And so really it's like, I don't think there's pressure on Jimenez to go a certain amount of length. But to answer the question, I would say if he goes 4 or 5, I think if he goes 4 or 5 and you have a 4 or 5 run plus lead, that's a success from that point on. By the way, I mentioned Ben Bybee just then. I think Ben Bybee is going to be the guy that we see today because, we all say, okay, well, if Jimenez is out of the game, well, if it's a blowout, then you can just throw nobodies. And if it's a close game, you'll throw Gackle. And, that's obviously true. But, I think Ben Bybee is going to be there, buy you some time guy. I think if it's, let's say it's 7-3 and it's after 4, I think you go Ben Bybee because he can go 2, 3, 4 innings. And if he's rolling, maybe you just let him cook. But he can also buy you time to where, all right, if he goes 2 innings, maybe gives up a run and you add 5 more runs, then you can go to whoever.
Right.
Or he stinks and it becomes a close game and now you have to go to other guys. But I think Ben Bybee is who you go to if you don't really know what the situation is. And so I think he could end up being the first guy out of the bullpen and could be a little bit of an X factor in this game today.
Also love this chat from Plastic Chaser. Says, good news, boys. We're 2-0 with me wearing my bombastic shirt. So, of course, I'm rocking it this weekend. Love you guys. Go Pigs.
Good.
Love that. Love to hear that for real. I also want to know what Plastic Chaser means.
Yeah. I was trying to check from the emoji or his avatar or whatever that is. I don't know. Maybe it's a company or something. These names, I don't know how you guys come up with some of these, but shout out to y'all. The creativity is overflowing. Oh, shout out to our guy, Hazelwood.
Yeah.
There's no chat, but super chat. I don't know if he said anything else that we maybe missed, but appreciate you, Hazelwood.
By the way, if Arkansas does poop their pants this weekend, obviously we'll be very sad. But if they do, I'm going to be on a boat with Hazelwood next Saturday.
There you go.
He was like, you want to go? And I'm like, well, I will let you know based on the results.
Yeah. Also, let's see. Finch says, over-under, we get the baseball version of the Oklahoma State loss reaction from John if we lose today. No, you'll get worse than that.
Yeah.
I may not even go on the show.
By the way, we've talked a lot about, we've had good vibes here on the show. We do need to address this. if they do not make it out of this regional, everyone should be absolutely livid.
Yep.
It's okay to set those circumstances. And that doesn't mean, if they give up a run, you should start freaking out already or whatever. But like the circumstances are pretty cut and dry here. Like you got to win this regional.
Yes.
And so it's going to be bleak if they don't.
Yeah.
If they lose today, oof.
Yeah. And there's not going to be any excuses. There's not going to be anything that you can say, well, hey, let's still do this. Let's still word on. Nope. Not saying burn it down, but, if you want to, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you because that's how egregious it would be if they lost this one. That's how egregious it would be. Let's see. Also, Chad says best in stadium food and drink.
Do y'all have an
Is this a
opinion on this
question?
one?
Like as far as like which stadium we've been to that had the best
I'm
food and
thinking
drink?
like
or-
in
stadium.
stadium.
Okay. I know what you think, but I'm telling you, I don't know what it's called, but the barbecue nacho fries at the little food truck is my favorite. Next to the beer place.
Is that the one that just takes you an hour to get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The longest line there. The one that's down the
There's a
first
reason
base
why.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude does great work. I love appreciate him, and you do have to get it if you want that. You probably need to get to the game an hour early and go ahead and do that then, or just pick a random time in like the fifth inning. I gotta say, and I'm almost hesitant to tell this because I feel like it's a secret that people haven't figured out yet. So they have this nacho stand right behind home plate, or like kind of in that right behind the home plate concourse area. And they have nachos, chili cheese nachos, foot-long hot dogs where you can load them up and all that. There is nobody ever in line, ever. And I'm literally, there's been games where I've had it twice, where I've eaten nachos twice there. I love those nachos, and nobody goes there. So I hope it's there this weekend, but I'm worried that it's not because nobody went.
Well, let's say the secret may be out. The more you talk about it, more people are going to go
man.
over there.
The dude recognized me. It was during the Texas series. Me and Hillary had gone, and then we came back the next day, and he's like, "Oh, you guys were here yesterday." I'm like, "Sheesh, man! Like, I don't, like, what does that mean?"
Is that one of the worst feelings you can have if you had a concession stand worker knows you? Like, oh yeah, you.
It's kind of tough.
It's tough.
It's
Yeah.
tough. Well, I mean, it also speaks to how few people are ever going there. I don't think people know it exists, and they even like have the food out there so people can see it, but I don't think people know it exists.
Also, shout out to our guy Dre. Says if they lose, I'm flinging spicy peanut butter at everyone. Well, that would be a very unfortunate thing to have slung at you. But well, let's just hope that doesn't happen, and then we don't have to worry about it.
It could be worse.
If you're I mean, look, people have peanut allergies, and it's like a lethal one. So
Could
that's a dangerous game there, man.
kill somebody. Could kill somebody.
You could maybe get arrested for that.
They throw people in jail. All right, so again, we'll get to more of your chats, but let's go ahead and jump into our best and worst of the week, presented by our friends over at Looper Auction and Realty, where they are hosting a consignment equipment auction on Thursday, June 6th. So next Thursday at 9 a.m. at their new permanent facility located at 5701 Alma Highway in Van Buren, Arkansas. Buyers can expect heavy construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, so much more. And if you can't attend in person, that's totally fine because bidding is available online at looperauction.com and proxy bid. So if you got equipment to sell, call Looper Auction and Realty today at 479-996-4848. Looper Auction, sold in 30, closed in 30. So it's been a crazy week for having some best and the worst, but I'm not. Hopefully I don't steal yours if yours is a basketball one, Curtis. But real quick, my basketball, it's a basketball one. I just love how the videos, the content, the social media content from basketball, I know we eat it up and we love it, but to see the video with Carter Knox and us laughing because Carter Knox, had all the bench, everyone laughing. That was great. It was great seeing, the picture, seeing John Daly and Cal hanging out. Like, it just makes me happy. I know it's not basketball season, it's baseball, a lot of people in baseball mode, but anything that the basketball side of things puts out social media wise, I just feel like they're just bangers, and it just gets me that much more excited for the season. So that was my best of the week, is seeing all that.
No, that's good. I mean, you didn't really steal mine. I mean, I'm always going to have some kind of basketball related something for my best, but it is just all those guys being back now. There's nothing better than you get to this point and you've been, building a roster and who's coming back, who are you bringing in? Is this guy leaving? Is he going pro? Is he not? And then finally, you just turn on those Instagram noties, and I've loved it all week. It's like you get a notie, and it's like, I know he's in the practice gym. Nick Pringle, yep, there he is. Oh, Malik Thomas, hell yeah, there he is. And it's how we uncovered the walk-on that joined the team because they had him on social media and stuff. But it's crazy to me that we are still actively in the 24-25 athletic calendar as we're getting ready to go watch baseball postseason. And the 25-26 basketball team is on campus getting ready to begin preparations. But, no, it's cool. I love when they put out the first team photo because we overanalyze it just like we did on the show, just like I did on the Pod at the Palace. I love seeing the initial roster come out with the heights and weights and everything like that. And it's like, yeah, Trevin weighs more than Nick Pringle. Yeah, my ass. It's, I mean, like, I absolutely love that stuff. And it's just, you can picture it in your head and what it's going to look like all you want, but until you actually see them together, you don't really know. And so now we've seen that, and I'm pumped. And to go to your point about the social media stuff, they're usually pretty good. At least they were last summer, about every few days putting out a few practice clips where they'll pick one player and hey, here's Malik Ewan dunking on Pringle, and here's him working with Kenny Payne, and here's this and that. And I hope that they do a lot of that this summer to keep people drummed up and keep people excited. I feed off of it. Like, I'll do an episode over each one of those freaking clips. I don't care. It's good to see those guys back, and it's also crazy at the same time because you're so far away yet so close because they're already beginning preparations. It's nuts, man.
Well, real quick for just to your point, it shows you how much we enjoyed and wanted to talk about that group photo. We didn't talk about Sydney Sweeney's bathwater being sold.
We did not.
Because that's originally what we were going to talk about, but then we were like, nah, curb that. Let's get into this
It
instead.
was on the agenda.
It was.
Right.
It
It was on the
was.
agenda.
Did y'all get that screenshot I sent you from my dad?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, that was tough. Well, weirdly enough, I'm also sticking with the social media and team stuff because I got to give the baseball team, of course, their props.
Yeah.
The video they put out yesterday, that was it's like a minute, 10 seconds. And it just has all these little clips of like Dave talking, some national guys talking, and then it finishes with Dave. I think it was after they beat Ole Miss, and he said, "There's something special brewing up in the hills of Northwest Arkansas." They do all the social medias really do a good job, except for football. Football social media stinks, which is funny because just this week they even stunk because they used a 7-year-old Trey Knox picture to announce a schedule thing and announced it wrong. But weirdly enough, the baseball team and basketball does a great job with this too. Like, they make the journey fun to be a part of. Like, even if you're not, going to games and doing all that, like, they put together those videos that tell the story. And I imagine their postseason content is going to be really good. I remember in 2018 for like every College World Series game, they were doing like a 7-minute, what looked like a movie.
Yeah.
And they would like put up all this stuff. And like, I have some of them in my Twitter bookmarks because they're just fun to go back and look back on. And I think they age really well to just like look back and like remember those. They do a good job of just kind of telling the story and also just making you feel like a part of it. Because that's what we really want as like fans of stuff.
Yeah.
You want to feel like you're a part of it. And those social media teams, they work so hard. And I remember whenever I used to, like being at the basketball games and we'd sit right behind, there'd be like 4 people there and they're just like on their computers the whole time because they're tweeting out those clips and they're getting the stuff together. They're getting the videos from someone and they're clipping it up together. Like, they do a lot of work and it doesn't go unnoticed, and it really is awesome. And it makes a difference too. And so that was my best of the week, and I can't believe y'all also went best of the week with y'all's thing. But I'm gonna do the snake drive thing because I want to lead it right into my worst of the week.
Okay.
Just Razorback fans on Twitter. This could be my worst of the week every week, but like, good Lord, dude, we were joking about it right before we went live today that like, no matter what I tweet, like, dude, if you go to my Twitter right now, and I don't, my Twitter's not that great. Every single tweet I tweet, the replies are just a cesspool of people being like, "Shut up, they're not gonna win, bro. Shut up, they're gonna choke Dave and choke, blah blah blah." Everybody's just so effing angry, dude. And that's why I like that we have these social medias that are so cool and wholesome and, hey, we're excited for postseason. But then there's just all these, like, I don't know what it is about Hog fans. It's like, one, I get having the battered hog syndrome and expecting bad things to happen. Like, I get all that. But it seems like Hog fans get mad at other Hog fans for being excited about stuff. And that's like annoying to me and like bums me out, especially when like I'm excited. Like, I just want to be excited. I want to be happy to watch my team. I literally just tweeted out, "What if they do it?" That was all I tweeted out. I didn't even say, "What if Arkansas wins the national title?" I just said, "What if they do it?" And everyone in the replies is just like yelling at me and pissed off. And I'm like, you just why are we like this? Why are we like this? It's unreal how like few, like such a large percentage of the Razorback fan base that, again, just has never felt the warm embrace of a female body. They do not know what that feels like. And it's obvious when you go on Twitter and you see it and they're just like yelling all the time. It's like, dude, Like, go be with a woman. Like, please.
Bro,
Dude,
that's crazy.
I love that.
That's outrageous.
But now, like, I was gonna bring, I was like, man, I'm sure what you saw is kind of like whenever I tweet out that today's gonna be an insane day. I feel like it's kind of like people get up in arms. But for you, it's different because I purposely do it just to mess with people.
I'm at that point now where I'm rage baiting a little bit.
Yeah, and it's so easy. It's just it's an easy thing. Well, Snake Curtis. So, what's your worst of the weekend?
I mean,
Or week? I'm always gonna keep doing that.
Yeah.
it's I was gonna save this for the best, but I had to do the social media stuff, so I'm gonna kind of flip it around a little bit. I could have done my best of the week, Brett Bielema. Did you guys?
Yes.
But I'm gonna do worse. The guy who tried to gotcha Brett Bielema on
God.
Twitter, and then he absolutely roasted him when they shared his 11-29 over 5 years in the SEC, and it's like, do you remember that? And he was like, yeah, I remember that. The SEC was absolutely loaded. I also remember going 3-1 against Ole Miss, and it was an Ole Miss fan or whatever who was heating him up. So
Beautiful.
Shame for somebody trying to poke the bear, the literal bear. That's a big man right there. But good on Brett, man. You see how I was trying not to call him Bert because I wasn't making fun of him.
Yeah.
And I said it was like Brr.
Today he's Brett
But
Bielema.
He's Brett Bielema today. But that was awesome.
How about the one fan base in the SEC that cannot talk to Brett Bielema?
Exactly.
I
The
know.
only one
Of
that he
all
really
people,
really
you-
performed very well against.
Right.
Yeah, I guess LSU probably really couldn't say too much to him as well because he had some good wins against them. But it's like,
Yeah.
how are you gonna do the the SEC chewed you up and spit you out if you didn't beat him? Like that
Yeah.
it'd be like Arkansas
Right.
tweeting at Ohio State and after they lose the national title to Bama and being like, oh, SEC. It's like
Yeah.
what?
Well, it's not only that, but it's like, when you think about the teams that you could say that against or whatever, Ole Miss can't even be like, oh, it was Matt Luke, he sucked. It's like, no, it was Hugh Freeze, like in the prime of when they were really good. He had that success
Chad
against
Kelly.
them.
I mean, hell, he cost them an SEC championship appearance.
Yeah, which is great. Okay, so my worst of the week, of course, is going to be stick with social media because it's just been tough.
Yeah.
But
The best and worst thing of all time.
social media, if that's ever a great indication of it. The Kentucky fans, man. I mean, listen, I get it. It's going to be like this all the time, but when it goes to anything that happens with Arkansas and basketball on social media, especially if it's a player or dealing with a player that Kentucky had some sort of connection to, like Carter Knox, because Carter Knox was committed to Kentucky, and then when Cal came to Arkansas, he flipped his commitment and went to Arkansas. And when it was announced that Carter Knox is returning to the university and Joe Tipton put it out there and everything, Kentucky fans just use that as just their time of how, it sucks. He's cooked. I thought he had all the money and so glad he's gone. Imagine being excited about an 8-3 player coming back, all of this stuff. And then it gets added even more so when I put out that clip of us talking and laughing about the bench laughing at Owe or whatever because he had the dig dunk. And Kentucky fans, I swear to you guys, every one of them were saying either, oh, this is the Watford, this is their Watford shot play. I was like, not even close. Not even close. They're like, you can just tell it's a Super Bowl when they're using that play and this. It's like, y'all need to relax. Y'all have had a solid offseason. Focus on that.
They can't.
I know. And that's what makes it so funny is because then they're like, oh, Razorback fans so obsessed. Just clicks must be down. They're just going to put out something about Kentucky. What? Because here's the thing. If that video had been, and that dunk with Carter Knox had been against Ole Miss, we still would have laughed about it. It had nothing to do with Kentucky. It made it a little bit better, but it's amazing how that's their approach anytime something even slightly connected to Kentucky basketball with John Calipari or a player, they got to come out of the woodwork.
Arkansas won the battle, but Kentucky won the war, John. So we were told.
There's, and I'm not even saying they're like troll accounts. Some of these accounts actually have a pretty large following from Kentucky fans. Yeah, but when we're hearing there's a guy, and folks, I'm not even going to mention him because it's not even worth it, but there's this Kentucky fan that was saying that this past season, Arkansas won the battle because they won the regular season game, but Kentucky won the war. Do you want to know how they justified that? Because Kentucky had more wins against top 15 teams than Arkansas did.
RPI, yeah.
Yeah, RPI.
Better BPI.
Folks, guys, if I ever start flexing about RPIs or top 15 wins, murder me.
How many
Just
games you
kill
won
me.
against Quad 2?
Yeah,
How many
just
Quad 2 losses you got?
We are
Just kill me.
we are abstaining from being regular season merchants around here. We're just
Yeah.
not going to do that.
No.
I do not
That's
care
silly
about
talk.
the regular season
No.
until we're good in the regular season.
And
then
we
we're gonna,
listen, and this is not new for us. Like we learned that with
Yeah.
Musk because they would stink in SEC play, and then they'd be in the damn Elite Eight every year. So
Well, I mean,
it's just the way it is, bro.
Hell, what are we here celebrating today? Razorback baseball. What has that gotten us? That we've dominated the regular season, and we
Yeah.
never talk about it because we can't talk about it because we have the very obvious but. And Kentucky fans have a very obvious but, and they allow us to play it all the time. But I will say, it really, I think back to our trip to Lexington a lot because
It's great.
we have such, I would say a very hostile and negative relationship with Kentucky fans, but it's cool to get out there in real life and talk
Yes.
to actual human beings and be like, oh, hey, I'm a sports fan and I'm a Kentucky fan because of this. Hear their story. They hear our story. We like them. They like us. Like, it's crazy that, like, we can't, like, that doesn't exist in the world anymore. Like, you can't just, like, actually have a real conversation with people. It has to be all this, like, pointing fingers and gotcha and actually you're wrong because this and, oh, update. Like, we're always, like, trolling each other.
Yeah.
It is nice to get out in the real world and, like, talk to actual human beings. And I look forward to doing that at Baum today, too, because that's another thing is, like, as much as I complain about the people that tweet and say all this crazy stuff and are tweeting about Will McIntyre and all this, those are never the people that are at Baum.
Everyone you physically see is typically, for the most, but there are exceptions,
they're-
but for the most part, awesome.
Yeah.
And that was
Yeah.
that was the case
Except
too
for
in
that
Lexington.
Yeah.
Except for that guy that tried to fight me over Ryder Hilford.
Well,
Except for him.
Yeah,
I hope I
yeah.
don't see him today.
Yeah. Well, and also real quick to that because I know we'll move on. But speaking of that series against, I guess it was the series against Tennessee that was here. I was leaving after Arkansas got the series win, and you know how it is with the energy and the Tennessee fans and all that. There was this group of family walking to the parking lot, and I kind of saw them, and they were talking, and they looked over at me. They're like, "Hey, by the way, you guys, this was great. You guys were the nicest fans ever." Like Tennessee fans saying this about Arkansas fans, and I'm like, that's great to hear because I just assume that Razorback fans are just ripping them.
Bro, it's only Texas, bro.
Yeah, it's only Texas apparently, but I was so shocked by that. But it's nice. It just goes to show you that there are some good ones in every fan base. Some more than others, but there are some good ones. All right, so let's go ahead and get to a few more chats here and checking the vibes. Presented by our friends over at Basis Health, where they're changing the way healthcare is delivered by providing the mobile medical visits at the comfort of your very own home, where a doctor will come to your home for all the urgent care, primary care, IV hydration, and so much more. It's Basis Health. They are here for you when and where you need them the most. You can learn more at basishealth.org today. All right. Hey, and actually shout out to our guy, Dre, for the super chat. He said, if a dollar of my sponsorship goes to a celebrity bath water soap, I'm out.
Hey,
We're
Dre,
dedicating yours alone, buddy.
we allocate funds properly. Curtis is paying for that out of pocket. That is not. We're not using your sponsorship. That's Curtis has been saving up for this.
That's right.
Yeah.
I had to take away the company credit card from him, to keep from these purchases
Yeah,
happening.
allegedly, there's no tax write-off for this. So Whatever.
I think about it all the time. Like Curtis's dad becoming aware of Sydney Sweeney
Yes.
is like one of my favorite memories to have.
Yeah.
he's the first one because I remember being a kid, like a before I even really understood, a woman. And my dad, like, we'd just be watching a movie or whatever, and he'd be like, "Oh, God, drink her bath water." And I was like, "What the hell, man? That's really like I just don't get it."
Dude.
And it was the first time I heard it. And he said it for decades, and then now that they're doing this, I had to send him that last night, and of course he responded accordingly.
So since we're talking about our dad's sexual preferences, so my dad is like the harshest critic of all time when it comes to women. He just like we'll be watching any movie and TV show, and he's just like, oh, just doesn't want. I remember one time he tried to tell me that Rihanna was ugly. He was just like, Rihanna hideous. I'm like we can't meet in the middle on Rihanna, but Rachel McAdams is the one woman. He's like, now that girl's beautiful. He's like everyone else ugly. Rachel McAdams, though, that's who he thinks
Okay,
is
all right.
attractive. But it's so funny. Any movie or TV show we're watching, he's always just scoffing at the women. He's like, just doesn't do it for me. I'm like, all right, whatever, man.
My dad's was Jamie Lee Curtis.
Hey, good pick. Good
saying.
pick, low key.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid being attracted to her, but I didn't want to admit it because I didn't think anyone else was.
She was like a mom and older and all that, or just
yeah, but then
yeah.
not surprising now that you know me a little bit.
Yeah,
That was it. Jamie Lee Curtis.
it all adds up now. Jeez. Oh man. Let's see. Appreciate the super chat from Steven. Says Andrew, F those guys.
Yeah.
They aren't the majority. Misery loves company. They just have biggest mouths. Whoop Pixui till the day I die.
I appreciate that, Steven, and he's right. Like they're definitely it's the loudest people. They're not it's not the majority for sure. And yeah, that's definitely true.
Yep. Also, Finch said Arkansas basketball. John 5'11", 230. Curtis 6'5", 200.
Oh, they'd be all over the place with it. Yeah.
Yep. Probably so.
Also, like I mean, Curtis, what are you 6'4", 190?
No, I'm like 220.
Are you 220?
260, bro. Yeah, but I'm about 220. Yeah.
What was the biggest you ever were?
The heaviest I ever I touched 260 on the scale. Biggest I was.
Interesting.
20.
What about you? What do you think the most you've ever weighed?
2016.
I know how much is the most I ever weighed.
You don't want to say it?
No, I mean I don't care. It's 265.
When did you weigh 265?
Have you seen that picture of me?
I've seen pictures of you, but like
no, like the picture of me when I was 265.
maybe
It's the one where I got a suit on.
265.
Yeah.
So what are you 6 feet tall? 5'11"?
Yeah, about 5'11". Depends on which convenience store I'm leaving.
You could have been a nose tackle, bro.
Trust me, I would have been if I would have been in the NFL right now if it hadn't been for this dadgum Achilles that I tore.
I'm closest to my heaviest weight than y'all for sure. I think the heaviest I ever got was like 210, 215, which was not. Yeah, you might have been 265. That might have been 265. But I'm not. I'm probably 195 right now. But I remember when I got to 210, I was like, God, dog.
Dude, we're all in our primes. Basically, what it is. We're working our best.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I'd say I kept the Doritos and Mountain Dew company in business back then. So yeah. All right, what a show we're having today. Talking about each other's weights.
Let's
and
stop
weight.
talking about our bodies. Let's move on.
Yeah, we'll let the chat do that because they do it every day. Let's see.
We're done with bodies. We're done with bathwater, and
Although wait, before we move on,
I want
to address this tweet. Dalton's Motorsports says Suni Lee clears Olivia Dunn. I'm not just saying that because of Quinn. Do y'all agree with this take? Because I got to be honest, I do.
I agree 100%. She's a superior gymnast.
She's a way superior gymnast, and you know.
I know she's a gymnast, but I don't know who she's talking about.
Okay.
Y'all, we got to keep on our toes with y'all's chatters, man. You chats are crazy. Jeez.
Can I change the subject by giving y'all some updates?
Yeah. Sure. Please, by all means.
North Carolina looks like they're going to take care of business in their regional against Holy Cross. They're up 4-0. ECU is now up 10-2 in the sixth inning against Florida. The regional that Arkansas is paired up with is the Knoxville regional. Tennessee is not playing the first game. Instead, it's the 2-3 between Cincinnati and Wake Forest. It's in the bottom of the second, 8-3, and Wake Forest has the 3. They have the bases loaded with 2 outs. So we could be looking at like an 8-5 through 2 innings to open up the Knoxville regional. Houston Christian and Texas are just now getting going. ETSU and Louisville are just now getting going. But that's what's going on in the world of sports.
All right. Good to know. By the way, it's random, but I think Hunter Wilson's here.
Oh, really? You know
I think
Cowboy?
he just walked by, and he went in there.
If he comes out of this
he
bathroom,
looked just like him, and he had the Hunter Wilson jersey on.
If he comes out of this if Hunter Wilson comes out of this bathroom, I'm gonna call him over here.
That's not Hunter Wilson.
That's not Hunter Wilson for sure.
Yeah, but he may.
You think he is in there though?
Well, he went in there. He may have left because we got distracted with bathwater and stuff. So, yeah, just we'll be on the lookout though. Just wanted to throw that out there. Jeez, man, we gotta get this going. Trey says, can we get a home run pick from you guys today? As far as just who or how many or
he said that, and then I think it was Logan that said each one of us needs to give a home run pick, and we all got to be different.
Okay,
I'm good with that.
I've got one that's really.
I'll go last.
Y'all go first. Y'all go first.
Okay, Curtis, you go first.
Cahillo.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Big Country.
Oh, I love that. You know, it's funny. Big Country's hit 2 home runs this year. Both came in that one game against Texas.
Yeah.
Now he does have a lot of power. I mean, both of those home runs were. It's kind of crazy that he's only got 2. I'm going Brent Iredale, and matter of fact, I'm guaranteeing it. I will give Curtis. There's a $5 bill in my wallet, and I will give it to Curtis if Brent Iredale does not homer today.
Okay. All right. So Iredale.
And there's nothing on the other end of that. It's just a simple transaction.
Okay.
Wow.
You like that?
Yeah, like I accept those terms.
Okay. I would hope you would.
Intern Reagan, who is your home run? Who's going to hit a home run today for Arkansas? Has to be different. Man, I put her on the spot.
She said Ryder Helfrich.
You said Helfrich?
She didn't, but I gave it to her.
I'm about to say, I was like, man, you're about to get everybody in the chat pissed off.
Helfrich hitting cleanup, man. Which, by the way, he's
got
creeping
a
up.
job to do.
He's been creeping up there. I think he hit 5th the last couple weeks. He's starting to move up.
He chose Cahillo. You got to do somebody.
I'll switch
to the other one.
I'll switch to Helfrich.
Oh,
Helfrich. Okay, there you go.
Reagan gets Keogh. Okay,
Yep.
there we go.
Helfrich.
I love that none of us picked Vahiva Aloy.
Nah,
that's too easy, bro.
Dude, he's washed. He's washed. He's not any good. He has no power. Come on now. All right, good deal. Jeez. Hey, listen, this is the best type of show because we're about to have Razorback baseball. We're at Foghorns, and we're going to have post game here at Foghorns afterwards. Beautiful weather, off the rails. It's a Friday. It's going to just be a great weekend, man. It's going to be great. What is this? Okay, Heartbroken Hog says, Inside Arkansas, Front Porch Sports put out their list for #1 pizza spot in ever Power 4 college town. For Fayetteville, they picked Marley's Pizza. Is this accurate?
This is not.
No,
these are
not
like
accurate.
when you go, like when the white chicken chili wins the chili cook-off. It's just different,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
right? Like you can't. I don't know how you could pick a Chicago style, unless that's your style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I just.
You're saying this is a big game boomer-esque list here?
I do. No, that's exactly how I
Oh
feel.
my
And no
God, I
disrespect
forgot
to
about
Marley's.
that.
Like I get
Yeah.
Marley's semi-frequently. I
I
like
do
it.
like it.
But you got to be in the mood for it. It's a different type of pie over there. I know you could probably get a normal one or something. If I want deep dish, I just get it from there.
Yeah.
Man, Ruby's hard to beat.
Yeah.
Pizza
Well,
Ruby is
Which you
hard to
had
beat,
which you
dude.
had the other day, right?
Yeah.
But I hate
Yeah.
to be this guy and be, well, actually, but since it's just Fayetteville, I don't think we can count Pizzeria Ruby.
Okay.
That's Johnson, bro.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay, in
The
Fayetteville,
pizza
then,
at Meteor is better than in Marley's.
I like
I haven't
Meteor.
been there
Yeah.
before.
Meteor's good
I mean,
pizza.
Woodstone.
Yeah.
Are y'all Woodstone guys?
I like Woodstone.
I like Woodstone a good bit.
But
it's all right.
mine's going to be Tim's Pizza East, and I think it's more for nostalgia because I grew up with that, and it's still great to me.
Hey, I
So,
like
I do like
Tim's
Tim's.
East a lot.
yeah. 'Cause
Tim's East and over Tiny Tim's.
yes, 100%. Because and the reason I love it the most is because it's exactly how I want my pizza: thin cracker crust, a little bit of sauce, and just a crap load of cheese and toppings. That's my go-to. So
For a while, I had Mojo's over Tim's East, but it's too inconsistent. Too
yeah,
inconsistent for me.
I'm
Yeah.
out on
Tim's good.
I'm out on Tiny Tim's ever since that time that me and Curtis went, and we were chilling, and we were at the bar for a while, and at the very end, this guy was like, "Oh, wait a minute, y'all work for John Neighbors? Dude, I would have given y'all drinks for free if I had known that."
That really, yeah,
and I
that
was like,
soured me on it
"Geez,
too.
bro."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's a tough one."
Yeah.
what does that mean? Like, what is it? Like, was he doing it to be a jerk, or was he like
No, he
actually
wasn't
being?
doing it to be a jerk. He genuinely was a fan of John Neighbors that
Oh.
that did not recognize.
We were there for
Anytime
like an hour and a half. He was like, "Oh yeah, you guys are familiar. That's right."
Anytime there's a guy who's a fan of John and doesn't recognize us, one, that means that he's a fan of John's like Locked On or John's radio career or whatever. But I'm like, if you're a fan of John's and you don't recognize us, then like what? Like, are you really tapped in?
I love this is my favorite thing because my friends. I've said this before. If someone comes up to me and I'm with my friends, and they're like, "Hey man, I love your stuff," or whatever, my friends in love just rip them. They're like, "Why? Why do you listen to him? This guy sucks." Like, and it's all that. So I'm like, whatever. And it's like with y'all, I was like, man, it's like so. Basically, if I'm around people, stop coming up to me. Stop saying nice things because we can't have that. Can't have the compliments. Go to your Twitters and start talking about how I'm a douchebag or whatever that guy said that the other day.
I will say this: like I'll get the, "Oh yeah, you work with John or whatever." And it's like, "Yeah, he's cool," and I like that a lot more than what I had at my last stop when people would literally be like, "What's it like knowing Trey Biddy?" That's like I mean, he's a regular guy, actually, believe it or not. But it was very much like, "Wait, like?" And you get excited. It's like, "Are you Curtis Wilkerson?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, how's it going?" It's like, "You gotta listen. Here's my name. Here's my number. My contact information. My wife's phone number. You got to give it to Trey Biddy, man." And I'm just like, "Wow, he's a
give Trey
superstar,
Biddy,
bro." Like,
don't keep us in suspense. Did you give him the number?
hell no.
What do you think Trey would have done with that? He'd been like, "Oh, thanks, man. I'll give him a call right away." Like, yeah, man. All right, let's. We just got a few minutes here before we wrap up, folks, because we got to get the bomb. We got a game. We got a game to get to and talk about and everything. But let's go ahead and look at some of the great specials and betting going on with the BetSaracen app. It's the #1 sports betting app in the state of Arkansas. It's not even close. And you can download the app today on your iPhone or on your Android, or you can check them out online at BetSaracen.com. And where it's at today, Arkansas is -4.5 runs today against the North Dakota State Bison.
Did they fix it yet?
And it's still -300.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
-300. I didn't see that part.
Because that's the thing is like if they had -6.5 at any like -120 or something like that, I would 1,000% bet that. I don't want to lay minus 300 for minus 4.5.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Or you want to just do Arkansas money line at minus 2,200?
Bet the farm.
Yeah.
Just gotta hit the money line there. Over-under set, it's 14.5. Is that what you got it at, Curtis? 14.5 for over-under? Yeah. So if you think it's going to be big time, check that out. But also, it's not just for the Razorbacks, but if you want to get some Little Rock Trojan action, because they take on LSU today, they also have LSU favored by minus 4.5. They're at minus 375. So if you wanted to go that route, but 13.5 over-under runs for that particular game. So
okay. Normally, I like the big specials, like the ones that are 10-1, 8-1, or whatever. And among those, there are actually a couple decent ones. Like I like Davalon and Maxwell combined for 2 home runs, which I like when it's combined because one guy can hit 2, which would be nice. That's 10-1. There's a couple that are just seem like kind of gimmies to me. Like Arkansas to win and Vahiva Aloy to hit a home run is plus 190, and I'm like, I feel good about that. Charles Davalon and Vahiva Aloy, each with 1 single, is plus 105. I like that one as well. There's a couple other just decent ones. There's a one with Aiden Jimenez. Let me see if I can find that one, where it's over 4.5 hits allowed and over 64.5 pitches. Where really, I just think if he eats up 4 or 5 innings, gives up a couple hits here and there, honestly, the hits would be the one you'd be worried about. I think he'll throw 70 pitches.
There was one that was over 4.5 strikeouts for him, and Arkansas wins. It was plus 210 or something.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. Now, North Dakota State, I remember Arkansas had a game in 2018 to open the regional, and they pitched Blaine Knight. And they played Oral Roberts, and Blaine Knight went 7 innings and had 2 strikeouts because Oral Roberts just kept swinging and grounding out, swinging and popping out. I could see Jimenez doing something like that because he is a little bit of a pitch to contact type of guy, although he does, he strikes out. He has the stuff to strike guys out. I like actually, what'd you say that was, plus 220?
Let me make sure, because I took it a little bit earlier. I thought it was plus 210.
Either way. Okay, hold on, wait a minute. Oh, man, there's a lot of Aiden Jimenez ones here. Yeah, the one that I was talking about, the over 4.5 hits, over 64.5 pitches is plus 220. If you think Aiden Jimenez is going to throw 6 innings and strike out 4, you can get that one at plus 250.
Yeah, it's Arkansas to win and Jimenez over 4.5 strikeouts plus 210.
I love that.
That's a good one.
I love that bet, actually. Matter of fact, that's the official play of Inside Arkansas.
Okay. Well,
Heck
very good.
There we go.
Also, this is a future, but I like this one from BetSaracen. College World Series first-time winner, plus 600 for yes. So if you think the Razorbacks are going to win, you can also help yourself out a little bit for that.
I'm trying to think of who else hasn't won. You know what I mean? Who else has not won the College World Series that could hypothetically win it?
Georgia? Has Georgia won it?
They've been.
Sure.
I don't know if they've won it.
Where's Blind Squirrel?
Blind Squirrel in here. Has Auburn ever won it? Because Quinn could tell us.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
That's the thing is I'm not well versed on who has and who hasn't. If they did it previously, prior to 20 years ago, I got no clue. Gotcha. USC has 12 college baseball national titles, and it's we don't view them that way. So I'd have to really look at that. But I bet that's a good one because again, Arkansas's in that. You could get lucky with a couple other ones too.
Right. Yeah, like that one too.
North Carolina. Has North Carolina won it? Because they're a team that could be in that mix.
I want to say they did actually. When I was there in Chapel Hill, I think that they had won it in 2004 or something random like that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to check into that. But either way, a reminder, folks, that all of the bombastic post-game coverage when it comes to all postseason is presented by our friends over at Trevero Clothing. We got our suits in. We can't wait to wear them, and we're going to have them on a show at some point in time. We're going to be looking fly. So really appreciate them. You can check them out on Instagram or at your local Dillard's near you. Just ask for Trevero, and they're going to get you hooked up because, hey, what's the point of buying a tux or renting a tux when you can just buy one for the same price? And that's what you do with their great quality materials. So check them out today. Fellas, final thoughts before we roll out here today? Or at least until after the game?
The hog is strong. Woo damn pig. No, I'm just excited. I'll save my thoughts for after the game.
There you go.
Arkansas is about to whip some ass, and we'll see you in a few hours. Those are my final thoughts.
Yeah, my final thoughts are Hogs by 90 today.
Yeah.
Let's roll with it. All right. Appreciate each and every one of you listening in. Be sure to tune in with us. Bombastic post game right here. In just a few hours, we'll be live from Foghorns once again. We'll have all the reactions, all your reactions to Game 1 for the Razorbacks in the regionals, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be an easy win today. We can feel it on our bones, so appreciate it. For Andrew Ellis, as well as Curtis Wilkerson, I'm John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel later this afternoon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you then.